Hey guys, this is Claudia here from the Bookkeeping Experts. Today we're going to address a question from Deborah. Deborah, thank you so much for putting a note on our last video. And yes, we're going to answer your question today. First of all, Deborah asked us how to create a clearance account. And then the second question is how to do a journal entry to match transactions in Square. So when things doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, how can we fix that? That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, here we go. QuickBooks. All right, so the first thing we want to do here is create a clearance account. Now, a clearance account is a bank account where we're going to record transactions in and out. At the end of the day, that account should be a zero balance. Now, when we have Square, we want the Square transactions to flow into that clearance account. Now, if you already have Square connected to QuickBooks, you'd have to disconnect it, create the account, and then connect it again. And when you connect the account, make sure that you put it towards the Square bank. All right, here we go. Left-hand side, chart of accounts. Now, wanted to remind you that we are on the accounting view. Just switch the view, top right right-hand side gear menu. Click on switch to business. Switch to accounting view, and you'll be able to see what I was seeing. This is the business view, and if you want the accounting view, you click on the gear menu, switch to accounting view. Okay, now it's clear. Okay, all right, so I like to work on this interface, but if you prefer the other interface, that's good. You can do that too. It's just a different location. Now, I am going to show you how to do it on this interface, but like I said, everything is pretty much there. It's just a different way to look at it. All right, so first of all, we're going to the chart of accounts. So on the left-hand side menu, click on Accounting, Chart of Accounts, and see Chart of Accounts. We're going to create a new account. So click on New, and right on top is the kind of account that you are creating. And in this case, we're creating a bank account. Okay. I'm going to name it Checking. That's okay. And as far as the tax forms section is checking account, and the account name I'm going to call Square Bank. Okay, Square Bank. And you can put a description if you like. So clearance account for Square Bank. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and save it. All right. So now you would be able to link into Square on the app on the left hand side. Now, if you already have it, like I said, you're going to have to disconnect it first and then then go to the app. Now, left hand side app, find apps. Okay, you can type Square, and you want to choose the one that is by QuickBooks or Intuit. Okay, automatically import your sales transactions from Square, and then you can go ahead and get the app from here. Now, I'm not going through this right now because we already have a video on that. I'm gonna put it in there for you so you can see how you connect it. Okay, the only difference is that you will put that you have a clearance account, so the transactions can go into the clearance account, and then it generates a transfer into the checking account. Okay, so now let's suppose that the transactions coming from Square are not quite 100%. So as we mentioned on a prior video, this happens for many reasons. Some of them, it could be tax discrepancy, means that the taxes that are set up in Square are not matching with the taxes set up in QuickBooks. Sometimes it's because you have savings in Square, and you don't always transfer the money, keep some there, so when the transactions come, it's not going to match with the Square transactions. It could be because you have a third-party app that is not bringing transactions complete. It could be several things, so it's impossible to know exactly what is causing the discrepancy. But if the integration is not a simple integration, if there is a little more complexity to it, then most likely you will have to do those journal entry at the end of the day. Okay, so how do you enter those? First of all, we would go into reports, and we would usually I do my entries at the end of the month. Some people can do it at the end of the year, but usually I like to do it at the end of each month, and then at the end of the year we do the final adjustment if there is any. Okay, so we're going to click on profit and loss. We're going to do this year to date, which is already here. Or sometimes all I want, like I said, I want to do the adjustment for last month because I'm reconciling the accounts. So if that's the case, we're going to put last month right here. We're going to run report. Okay. Now, here I don't have Square, so this is just a simple account. Okay, but if this had Square, there should be like some kind of Square income here, right? So we're just gonna pretend that let's see, this design income is Square income. All right, so you would see Square income in here, and let's see that here we have an income of $12.75, but on Square the income is actually $12.50. So it's overstated. I have more income than I have. I have more income in QuickBooks Online than I have it on Square. And of course, Square has the more accurate information because the information it's feeding from Square, right? All right, how do I fix that? All right, like I said, I always not today. I always like to work with two screens. So in order to duplicate your page, you bring your mouse all the way to the top of the page by the tab, and then right click it, and you can duplicate it, and this way you can go back and forth. Makes things a lot easier, because here I want to take a look at the numbers, make sure I have the information. Now when you look at the Square financial reports, it has all the information in there. Okay, you're gonna see the total sales, we're gonna see the net sales, which is the total sales minus discount, and then you're gonna see the breakdown of your sales and how your clients paid you. Sometimes paid with cash, sometimes paid with credit card, or that's it or sometimes third party apps, right? But anyhow, so we know exactly what's going on here, so we just need to do our adjustments. How do I do that? Left hand side, click on the plus new journal entry. Okay, the numbers that I'm gonna look in the profit and loss and compare to in Square financial is the income, Square fees, which is not here because, like I said, this is just a simple account. So income, Square fees, tips, if you have any tips, which is going to be on the balance sheet, not here on the profit and loss, and gift cards, if you sell gift cards. So you want to take a look at those numbers and make sure that they are correct, right? So like I said, I need to enter a $25 discrepancy. I'm going to date it for last month, May 31st, because I'm closing May. So we are in June, we're closing May, right? Always closing the month before because that's when you have all your bank statements, you have everything. So first of all, this is an income account. We're going to change here it says design income, but we're pretending it's Square income. So you would put Square income here, but in this case, like I said, we have design income. Now, depending on the account, the journal entries can be a little tricky, and I do not recommend for you to just go crazy on journal entries, because that's mostly for accountants. So I will give you some guidelines on how to enter journal entries, but remember that you don't want to do a journal entry when you can fix the problem. So if the Square issue is caused by something that can be fixed, then it's better fix it during the transaction than just to do a journal entry. If it cannot, because it happens quite often because of the integration discrepancy, then you'd have to do it. You have no way, so that's what we're doing. But be careful with journal entry, because it can really mess up your books if you just do it too freely, right? First of all, when you have an income account, when you're debiting it, you are lowering the amount of the income. When you're crediting, you're increasing the amount. So depending on the account, on the chart of accounts, debit can mean less and a credit can be more. Or if it is, let's say, an asset account, then the debit actually means increase and the credit means lower. Okay. All right. So I said it was $25 higher than what it was on the reports in QuickBooks. So we need to lower the income. Usually it's less, but sometimes it can be more. So we're, like I said, we're just, in this situation, we're just making a suggestion that that's the case. Now, in this case, because it is really a discrepancy, I can't put this under another account. So I'm gonna create a inequity account so I can put this difference. Okay. So remember when I was talking to you about creating account? The account type is very important. So an equity account means that all those transactions on that account is going to show up on the balance sheet, not on the profit and loss. And it doesn't impact your income and expense. And that's why we want to choose an equity account for what we're doing. You can leave it under owner's equity and then call it Square reconciliation discrepancy. Okay, you can do that, or reconciliation adjustments, even better. Save and close. So it's going to be a credit, right? So this is where you're going to track all your differences with Square. And then you can put a description here, what that is. So journal entry or adjustment to income or Square income to match Square financials balance. Okay, I can copy and then paste on the second line, and then I can go ahead and save and close. All right, so I did that. So the moment I enter that $25, I'm gonna run report. See that the design income is now $25 less. If I click on the amount here, you see that adjustment. It's a negative amount. Remember, we are saying that the amount of income for Square in QuickBooks is higher than in Square. So that's when we would enter that journal entry. What if it is the opposite? So it's less, which is actually more common. Okay, So I'm gonna teach you a trick to go back to the exact journal entry you were. You can click on the plus new, click on the journal entry under other, and see the little counter clock icon on the top left hand side. If you click on it, you're gonna see all the recent journal entries you did. So I know that this is the number one right on top, is right here. I'm gonna click on it, and voila, there it is. Okay, so in order to, if it was the other way around, if it was $25 below what it's showing on Square, I'm actually gonna credit that income account. Because it's an income account, when I credit, it actually increases. And keep in mind, with a journal entry, there's always two entries. One is a debit, the other one is a credit, and it needs to match. If it doesn't match, you're not going to be able to close it. So we switch the sides here. We're actually increasing the income right now. So we credited and we debited the Square reconciliation adjustment. We put the little notes, and we're going to save and close. Now it's an increase. See that? So now instead of 2,225 or 50, which was originally, now it's 2,275. Okay, so that's how I adjusted the income. Now, how do I adjust the expense? All right, so let's see, plus new. You can do one journal entry for everything, but I prefer to do, especially if you're not an accountant and you're just doing this as a business owner and try to figure it out, I would do one journal entry per adjustment instead of trying to do all the adjustment in one. It's a lot easier and less likely for you to make a mistake. All right, so here we realize that the expense account Square fees is lower than what it is in Square. So I'm going to increase that expense. For an expense account in QuickBooks, when I debit the expense, I actually increase the amount of the expense. And when I credit it, I lower the amount. So in this case, see how it's different? If it is an equity account, is the other way around. If it is an income account, is the other way around. But if it is an asset account, if it is an expense account, whenever I debit it, it's going to increase. Whenever I credit it, it's going to decrease. Hope that's clear. If not, you can turn back and listen to that again. All right. Okay. So we are going to that income account. There it is. Design income, which we're pretending to be Square income. Okay, like I said, we need to increase, so we're going to debit it, and we're going to say that is off by $300. So I'm going to put the $300 here, and once again, I'm going to use that reconciliation account. Square reconciliation adjustment. You can put a description here, and I already copied the other one, so I can do the same here. And here you can put a name as a Square customer if you want, because at least if you have a name for those the journal entry, it's actually the best way to go. So we always want the name of your vendor. Remember the name of your vendor, the name of your customers, because then when you go to your reports, you'll be able to customize them to analyze by customer as far as income goes, or you can check your expenses by vendors. So very important. By the way, we will touch on reports and how to customize it on another video. So stay tuned. All right, but for today, this is it. Okay, so that's how you make a journal adjustment to adjust it according to Square financials. And that's how you create a clearance account named Square Bank, so you can have your transaction run through the Square Bank and then as a transfer into your checking account. I will put, like I said, down below a link to my video on how to connect with Square. Like I said, if you are already connected to Square, you want to disconnect before you create before you create your Square clearance account, and then want to reconnect it again so you can map it correctly. All right, so if you have any question, write down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, please. Or give me a thumbs up. Obviously, we want to find out how we're doing, so just write down below. If you want us to cover something, do as Deborah did. So just write down, note down below. We're gonna address that for you. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a video like I did for Deborah, but I'll definitely reply to your I'll definitely answer your questions. Also, subscribe to our channel. We are bringing I can't talk. Free tutoring videos on QuickBooks Online quite frequently. So if you want to stay up to date with what's going on with Square, just stay tuned to our channel, subscribe to our channel, and you'll be the first ones to receive the updates. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep on smiling.